1990 was a turning point for R&B. The smooth elegance of the 80s was still in the air, but something new was forming. Grooves got bolder, emotions got deeper, and voices started telling the truth a little louder. Some of these songs were quiet storm staples, some lived on late-night radio, and some were never given the credit they deserved. These are 15 underrated R&B gems from 1990, records you might have forgotten, but your heart never did. Let's rewind. Number 13. Feels Good by Toni. Toné. By 1990, R&B was starting to stretch its legs, and Feels Good arrived right at that turning point. Toné. Didn't just make songs, you could feel them, and this one felt like pure movement. Released from the revival, Feels Good. Blended live instrumentation with a streetwise groove that leaned forward instead of looking back. Real bass, real drums.
Met 3T, hit around acapella. They had the rhythm and I had the rhyme.
A rhythm that sounded like a block party spilling into the night. It was R&B with funk in its bones and hip-hop confidence in its walk. What made the record special
oh yeah, I like that. Come on, say.
Was its ease. Nothing was forced. Even the rap break, added late in the studio, felt natural, like the song was breathing.
To know that you always around. To know.
And decided to smile mid-stride. DJs loved it because it worked everywhere. Cookouts, roller rinks, club floors.
How can you feel it? How can you feel it? Feel it.
Car stereos with the windows down. Feels Good wasn't about romance or heartbreak. It was about joy, the kind that shows up without asking permission. And 3 decades later, that groove still does exactly what the title promised. It feels good.
Video, I taught them how to dance, all that stuff. Now they're back. They're from Oakland, California. They're back here.
Number 12. Tender Kisses by Tracy Spencer. In 1990, R&B wasn't only about big vocals or flashy grooves. Sometimes the records that stayed with you were the quiet ones. Tender Kisses was exactly that kind of song. Tracy Spencer was still a teenager, but the emotion in her voice felt far beyond her years. This wasn't heartbreak screamed from the rooftops. It was heartbreak whispered in a bedroom with the lights low. The production was soft, minimal, and patient, giving her voice room to breathe and ache. What made Tender Kisses special was its restraint. No vocal gymnastics, no oversinging. Just vulnerability. The song captured that moment when you replay conversations in your head, wondering where things shifted, and why love didn't land the way you hoped. Quiet Storm Radio embraced it instantly. Late-night DJs played it for listeners lying awake, staring at the ceiling, feeling seen. Cassette decks paused mid-spin. Diary pages filled up. Tender Kisses didn't dominate dance floors. It lived in feelings. And that's why, decades later, it still hits just as softly and just as deeply. Number 11. Come Back to Me by Janet Jackson. By 1990, Janet Jackson was already known for precision, power, and purpose. But Come Back to Me revealed something quieter and just as lasting. This wasn't a breakup song filled with drama. It was longing without pressure, the kind of longing that waits. Janet doesn't beg or plead. She sounds calm, reflective, almost resigned, like someone who has accepted distance but still leaves the door open.
you please come back to me?
The production is cinematic and restrained. Soft strings hover, the beat barely moves, and Janet's voice floats gently across it all. There's space in this record. Space to miss someone. Space to hope. Space to remember.
I want you to.
What many forget is how deeply this song lived on late night radio. Quiet Storm DJs leaned on it heavily because it carried emotion.
I miss you so much. Wherever you are.
Without overwhelming the room. It became a dedication staple, the kind of song introduced with a whisper and a pause. Come Back to Me proved that Janet didn't need choreography or statements to move people. Sometimes, all it took was honesty, patience, and a voice willing to sit with the feeling instead of rushing past it. Number 9, Whip Appeal by Babyface. By 1990,
Good evening, I'm Holly Robbins.
Babyface was already shaping the sound of modern R&B behind the scenes, writing and producing hits for everyone else. But Whip Appeal
Of Babyface and the LA Review.
was the moment he reminded the world that his own voice could carry just as much weight. This song didn't rely on big vocals or dramatic moments. Instead, it worked through restraint. The groove is slow, steady, and confident, built around subtle rhythm and smooth phrasing that feels more like a conversation than a performance. Whip Appeal became a Quiet Storm essential because it knew exactly what it was doing.
When we go to work, how the day seems so.
It didn't chase attention. It created atmosphere. DJs loved it because it blended perfectly between slow jams,
Whatever you want, babe.
keeping the mood intact without breaking the flow. Lyrically, it's understated seduction. No rush, no pressure, just confidence and timing.
If all your sweet, sweet.
Babyface understood that intimacy in R&B isn't always about volume. It's about control. Listening now, the song still feels timeless. Dim lights, late night radio. A voice that doesn't ask to be heard, but always is. This was Babyface at his smoothest, and it helped define what grown modern R&B would sound like for the decade ahead.
And we're back here live.
Number 8, Ready or Not, by After 7.
More than you could know. And
In 1990, After 7 delivered one of the smoothest, most quietly confident love songs of the era with Ready or Not.
that you need for, and even more.
This wasn't a track built for charts or hype. It was built for moments, formed by Melvin and Kevin Edmonds, brothers of Babyface,
I'll give you more, you got to know it, baby. All that I got.
alongside Keith Mitchell. After 7 leaned into grown man R&B. Ready or Not moves at an unhurried pace, letting the harmonies breathe
And all that you reach for.
and the emotions settle naturally. What made the song stand out was its maturity. There's no begging, no drama, no urgency.
I'm gonna give you some more. Every little thing that I've got.
Just assurance. It sounds like love that's already been thought through. Love that knows where it's going. The production stays warm and polished,
Everything, every little thing. All that you're
with layered vocals that feel intimate rather than flashy. At a time when R&B vocals were becoming more aggressive and competitive,
ready or not. Oh,
After 7 chose calm confidence instead. Quiet Storm Radio embraced this record instantly. It became a staple for late night listening. Living room slow dances and long conversations that didn't need many words. Ready or Not remains a reminder that some of the strongest R&B records
I pray that you'll be always there for me forevermore.
don't try to impress. They simply speak clearly, softly, and honestly, and let the feeling do the rest. Number 7. Where Do We Go From Here? By Stacy Lattisaw
Our hearts are in the right place.
and Johnny Gill. This song captures a moment that feels suspended in time. Where Do We Go From Here isn't about falling in love. It's about standing at the crossroads of it, when the feeling is still there, but the future suddenly feels uncertain. By 1990,
Look what we've begun to.
both Stacy Lattisaw and Johnny Gill were transitioning into new phases of their careers, and that reality seeps into every note. Their voices don't compete.
Found a miracle.
They lean into each other, gently, like two people afraid to say the wrong thing, but knowing silence won't fix anything either. What makes this record resonate is its honesty. There's no dramatic climax, no big vocal showdown, just restraint, just emotion held carefully in place.
I found a miracle in you.
The production stays soft, letting the vulnerability lead instead of the beat. Quiet Storm Radio embraced this track because it sounded real.
Beyond the shadow.
Couples heard themselves in it. Not the beginning of love, not the end, but that fragile middle where everything matters. It's a song about questions without answers, and that's exactly why it still lingers.
I'm now become as one, babe.
Number 6. Hey Lover by Freddie Jackson.
Snap your fingers. This is a snap your fingers toy.
By 1990, Freddie Jackson had already defined the sound of grown, romantic R&B. Hey Lover didn't try to reinvent that formula. It perfected it. This song arrives softly, like a voice carried in through an open window at dusk. No rush, no theatrics. Just warmth. Freddie doesn't sing at you here. He speaks to you, calm and assured, like someone who understands that real intimacy doesn't need volume. The production is smooth and unintrusive, built to support the emotion rather than overpower it. That made Hey Lover, a Quiet Storm, favorite almost instantly. DJs leaned on it to change the temperature of a room, to slow everything down without killing the mood. What stands out is the confidence and restraint. Freddie wasn't chasing trends or competing vocally. He trusted tone, phrasing, and timing. The result feels timeless. Music for slow sways, dim lights, and moments that don't need to be rushed. Hey Lover is proof that sometimes the strongest R&B records are the ones that whisper instead of shout.
Y'all remember them old dances? Come on.
Number 5. Don't Take It Personal, Just One of Dem Days. By Monica. This song marked a quiet but important shift in R&B. Released in 1990, Don't Take It Personal introduced Monica as a young voice with emotional clarity far beyond her years. Instead of heartbreak or confrontation, the song is about boundaries. It's a calm, self-aware moment of honesty. Someone saying they need space without turning it into a fight. That alone made it stand out in an era where relationship songs often lean toward drama. The production blends early New Jack Swing energy with softness, giving the record movement without aggression. It sounds like the beginning of the 90s finding its identity, less flashy than the late 80s, more conversational. More real. What made this track connect was how relatable it felt. People didn't just hear a song, they heard something they'd said or needed to say. And once it hit radio, it stuck. Don't Take It Personal wasn't just a hit. It became a phrase, a mood, and a moment. A reminder that sometimes emotional maturity is the most powerful statement of all. Number 4, Giving You the Best That I Got, by Anita Baker. By 1990, Anita Baker was already synonymous with elegance, restraint, and emotional depth. Giving You the Best That I Got had been released a couple of years earlier, but its grip on radio and listeners carried strongly into the new decade. Because people simply refused to let it go. This wasn't a song about excitement or infatuation. It was about commitment, about choosing someone fully. And without performance. Anita doesn't oversing here. She doesn't chase big moments. She delivers every line with the calm confidence of someone who has lived the story already. The production is warm and unhurried. Soft keys, steady bass, and subtle gospel undertones that feel more like reassurance than drama. It became a staple at weddings, anniversaries, late-night drives, and quiet storm rotations nationwide. What truly sets the song apart is its sincerity. It feels like a promise spoken quietly. But meant forever. Every time it plays, shoulders relax, memories surface, and the room slows down. Giving You the Best That I Got isn't just a love song. It's a standard for what grown-up R&B sounds like when it's done right. Number 3, All the Man That I Need, by Whitney Houston. By 1990, Whitney Houston wasn't just a star. She was the standard. All the Man That I Need stands as one of her most emotionally complete performances. A love song delivered not with flash, but with conviction. What makes this record unforgettable is its patience. The song builds slowly, allowing the emotion to rise naturally. Whitney begins softly, almost conversational, then gradually opens the floodgates, lifting the track into a powerful, yet controlled climax that feels earned, not forced. The arrangement supports that journey perfectly. Gentle keys, restrained percussion, and a swelling backdrop that feels almost spiritual by the end. When Whitney reaches those final runs, the room doesn't just listen, it holds its breath. This wasn't just a hit. It was a song people chose for real moments, reconciliations, slow dances, declarations of love. It carried sincerity, not spectacle. All the Man That I Need captures Whitney at her most focused, using power only when it mattered. A reminder that true greatness isn't just about how high you can sing, but knowing exactly when to rise. Number 2, All Around the World, by Lisa Stansfield.
And I let myself go. I said so.
In 1990, All Around the World arrived as a global soul moment. Smooth, searching, and quietly powerful.
Too much time. Now I'm here and crying.
Lisa Stansfield didn't sound like she was chasing the R&B world. She sounded like she belonged in it. This song moves with steady confidence.
I was the one, the weakest one of all, and now
built on a restrained groove that gives her voice space to linger. There's longing in every line, but it's never overplayed. Lisa sings with control,
I'm going to fly.
letting emotion sit in the tone rather than pushing it through volume. What made the record resonate was its universality, distance, regret,
I don't think he's coming back.
hope. It all lives inside this song. Quiet Storm DJs embraced it immediately, and listeners connected deeply.
Around the world.
It became the soundtrack to late night drives, unanswered questions, and love that still mattered even when it wasn't close anymore. The label didn't expect the song to cross over the way it did, but R&B radio knew what it was hearing. This wasn't pop pretending to be soul. It was soul.
Been around the world and I can't find my
Delivered with elegance and restraint. All Around the World remains proof that sincerity travels farther than hype, and some voices can cross borders without ever raising their volume.
mind here. Ooh, we had a
Number 1. Vision of Love
still I believe.
by Mariah Carey. 1990 is remembered for many things in R&B, but nothing announced a new era quite like Vision of Love. This wasn't just a debut single. It was a moment of arrival that permanently changed the sound of modern R&B and pop. Mariah Carey stepped forward with a voice that felt both vulnerable and untouchable. The song opens gently, almost fragile, then slowly expands, revealing control, range, and emotional precision that few had ever heard on record before. That whistle register didn't just surprise listeners, it reset expectations. What makes Vision of Love timeless isn't just the vocal skill, it's the emotion. Mariah sings like someone discovering love and self-belief. At the same time, every run feels purposeful. Every pause feels personal. Producers, singers, and radio stations took notice immediately. This song became a blueprint, shaping an entire generation of vocalists
Somehow the one that I needed would find.
and redefining what R&B ballads could sound like in the 90s and beyond. Vision of Love didn't just top charts, it opened doors, and more than 3 decades later, its echo is still everywhere.
And it was all that you've given to me.